Hi there, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Sunday Speaks. I, as always, am Cheyenne Severin, and today I'm here with,
Nancy Labov.
oh my
Hi,
God,
Cheyenne.
hi, Nancy. Nancy is our founder and CEO, if anybody didn't see the graphic or is unfamiliar. So, Nancy, what did you want to talk about today? I heard you had some sage.
Yes, because I just got out of a yoga exercise class, and I just wanted to settle in and light and see if I can light a candle with these terrible matches. There we go. And I always like just light a candle to honor the light in myself, to honor the light in others, commune with my higher power, God as I understand God. It's different for everybody, but still just an honorable light. So I'm lighting a candle,
Mm.
and one of my practices is saging. I think that saging is an important thing to do because it's just like an old Native American, indigenous, tribal type of cleansing, and opening ourselves up to good alignment with the universe, maybe, spirit, whatever you want to call the great universe, spirit guides, ancestors. There's all sorts of different ways that people practice, you know, uh, getting getting centered. So anyway, we're opening it up. As a person in recovery, I do not rely on alcohol or substances to alter my mental perceptions. I did when I was young, and I stopped at 26. And that's because I saw that I needed to surrender to the fact that I come from a long family line of alcoholism,
Mhm.
and that I too could possibly have it. So, so instead of using substances, how do I how do I clear my energy? How do I open up and calm and find a peaceful space within me? And this is some practices such as this. So I wanted to do that as we started our session, our talk. Excuse me, it's not really a session.
So, do you do the saging every time, like after you do like a yoga exercise class, or is this just like a daily thing, or?
I pretty much sage every day. It's not like if I miss it, I'm going to be like, oh no, I
Mm-hmm.
didn't sage. What's going to happen? But it's part of my daily discipline before I meditate. I do prayers, and they could be affirmations. They could be, just, allowing my thoughts to, just be, resonate with the vibration of love and if I have concerns and things that are upsetting me, I too, can surrender them to, my higher power in that prayer time. And so it could just be help me, but it's usually much bigger than that. And it usually is a lot of acts and actions and talks, uh, uh, just, um, just different words around. I'm grateful for all that you've given me today. I'm grateful that I get to rise with the sun. As the sun rises, so do I. Words like that. So that kind of goes along with some of my staging practice. But what it does do, it allows me to remember how to bring that peaceful, ease back into me for the rest of the day. I can go back to it some point of the rest of the day. So I just got done with exercising and just kind of felt like I needed to just create a space for this conversation
Mm-hmm.
for anybody that's sharing it with us, that it might raise the vibration in some way.
Mm-hmm. So going back for a minute, you mentioned earlier starting like recovery when you were about 26. So how did
Mm-hmm.
you fall into active addiction in the first place? Like, was it just something you grew up with, or?
Well, so it was. a lot of alcohol in my house growing up. It was acts of rage and disorderly conduct, if you want to call it that, and things that I just didn't understand. It was very chaotic at times, very erratic. There was no consistency, no stability. And that was fueled by alcohol from other family members. And so I didn't ever think that I'd ever drink because it really affected me when I was a kid, and I knew it. And I kind of hated it, because I saw what it did to family members. And so I thought that I'd never drink. I'm never going to drink. And when it came down to, I was so depressed as a young kid, Cheyenne. I just was. And like in my preteen years. And I remember that I just wanted to fit in. I wanted friends. I wanted some kind of support system because I didn't have it at home really at the time. And I really didn't know how to fit in school. So it kind of was, I'd like to say just, it was a little peer pressure. Nobody was saying, come on, do it, Nancy, do it. It was just more that the people that invited me into their circle were doing it. And that was the beginning. And it just seemed to make things a little bit more socially lubricant for me. And I began going to parties in high school and, I became popular. People liked me. And it was just kind of alcohol and pot went hand in hand. But then when things got older and I got a car and I went to nursing school and, it was progressing and I was driving drunk.
Oh,
and that's really what my downfall was. And I'm really grateful for that DWI because it helped change my life. It helped change my life where I could see that I just can't drink successfully. Maybe no substance is good for me. And I got into 12-step recovery and it was like, go for the abstinence, Nancy, and try these 12 steps. And, it really changed my life. And I'm just so grateful that I can be of service. And just you and me showing up here is kind of just recognition of service and how we can hopefully help others just through our words.
So speaking of that kind of concept, helping others through words, you founded Alumni in Recovery.
Right.
With what mission? And how long were you in recovery when you founded Alumni in Recovery? It's a lot of recovery.
26 years, 26 years, I think, because it was 9 years ago. I guess about 25 years because I'm about 34 years into my, sobriety recovery. Mm-hmm.
So what mission did you have? Like what were you thinking when you were like, this needs to be a thing?
That's it. I was working at Spring House for Women, which is in Paramus, New Jersey. I was bringing young women. They asked for young women to come speak in health classes at one of the local high schools. And when I brought them in and I saw how they were talking about what it was like in high school for them and what it was like growing up. And it was just so similar to, you could tell that their upbringing and they were so relatable to the kids that were listening. And I saw this incredible engaging power. And I was blown away because I just realized we had to do more of that. And I realized that there were people not in treatment that were young that wanted to go back to their own schools and talk to kids. So that's how I created it. And that's basically how AA was started on that. AA started and then blossomed all sorts of 12-step recovery programs. It was Bill Wilson and Dr. Bob Smith realized that they together could begin talking to other alcoholics about their stories. And it became a relatable substance that people could see that there was some solution in because they were in a solution. So that I was like, you know what? We could do this in the high schools or maybe middle schools by bringing young people in recovery that have alcohol and opiate addiction and, different types of substance, use disorders that are in recovery to begin speaking to kids in schools in a solution base. Mm-hmm. Not AA, not NA, but just called Alumni in Recovery with guidelines. And it kind of took off. I mean, it's incredible. And I always said to myself, I'm just going to keep doing it until it just seems to not work anymore. But everybody, so many young people just keep making it work. And that's how the basis for Alumni in Recovery got started.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Alumni in Recovery has helped to start conversations or continue them in any way, just surrounding substance misuse?
As we've grown, we have grown to a degree where the grieving community as well, people that have lost their loved ones to overdoses primarily, have been able to work within Alumni in Recovery too. We have our whole parent member piece, but a lot's to be said about the Black Poster Project. Mm-hmm. And all that Dee Gillen, who's the creator, and Glynis Burke, who is her lead volunteer, do to create the Black Poster Project. It allows people to see and visually just touch, and it creates an ability to really comprehend and witness this devastating epidemic. And so to do that alongside Alumni in Recovery has opened it up that people everywhere, not just kids in schools, but because that happens within the realm too, but the people that live in the community can see through our events and even like Recovery Day, that there's other avenues that they can get involved in or touch and be part of in a solution to a disease that's really killing us in America.
I'm actually wearing a Silent Memorials t-shirt.
Oh, I know what I'm going to say. So, like, just for example, the Recovery Day event, we had to postpone it, right?
Yes.
We postponed it because there was a thunderstorm, and it was really a thunderstorm, and I'm really glad we postponed it because it would have really wreaked havoc. But yesterday, one of our members, Pete and me, were doing some work, postponing stickers on things, and somebody was riding their bike by, and he said, "Oh, sobriety rocks," because that's what the banner said. He said, so he started talking about that he had some issues, and people told him he had issues, and maybe this was a good thing. Maybe he could come. And the point being is that there was something available for him that was easy to access. It wasn't just treatment. It wasn't having to go seek something out like, a meeting, which by all means, it's sometimes people just don't make it to the doors of AA and NA, successfully. And so this was just another avenue, and he seemed kind of interested. And I was like, that's why we do what we do, because it's a bridge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Recovery Day. So there's something to be said in that, like, meetings, right, are great, don't get me wrong, and having these like treatment-based options are of course things that we need in society, but there's also a way to not celebrate these issues but have these bigger events in a way that like shed a more positive light on what goals we're trying to attain, if you know what I mean.
Exactly. Here's the thing. These are difficult conversations. So you doing this Sunday Speaks with me, with so many other people, bringing this attention to a conversation around a disease process, around attitudes and misperceptions or perceptions, and all these pieces that go into it, where it just hasn't been really yet created completely well enough, I don't think, throughout the whole country. But here we are in our little piece in New Jersey, and making it available to everybody around the world, whoever wants to watch. Still, it might resonate with somebody. And there is places to go. So like Recovery Day.
Mm-hmm.
Recovery Day is at Tallman Pool Club, which is at
Mm-hmm.
Tallman State Park, overlooking the Hudson River. Gorgeous venue. I'm not kidding. It is beautiful. And it will be this Saturday coming up
Mm-hmm.
between 10 and 4. And there will be so much to do there, right? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
there's speakers. We have all sorts of speakers, and we have bands. We have kind of some fun angel card readings and positive affirmation stations for people to also, take selfies with a Buddha. But we have rock painting for kids and face painting, and we have lots and lots of resources involved. And how cool is that? So there's all these different pieces coming together, and the Black Poster Project will be there with a table, and there's just so many pieces, and there's so many people that help with alumni and recovery and make the organization's events unfold, where people can come together and do things together that's what it's about, right? It's so about a we thing, and the 12 steps of AA and NA and all the 12 steps have the 12, it all starts with we, this, our, us, never just I. So, together we can, heal our world. We can recover our world. I really believe that, Cheyenne.
Mm-hmm. So I
Mm-hmm.
actually hadn't heard that before, the like everything with we and it's not I. Do you think within your own personal life that statement applies, or how does that apply to you, do you think?
So humbly saying, I every day wake up and ask God, how can I best serve? How can I best serve the world today? Show me the way. I really do. And I really mean it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I, I intend and I make my best effort in creating a team approach in all that I do within the organization for sure. And I also I like to try to practice it on my home front, and just I think one of the most important things, Cheyenne, is conversation dialogues.
Mm-hmm.
If we can try to keep the conversation going, and we'll be able to open up channels of love and healing. Always, just got to keep that light shining bright, like the candle I just lit, and everything will flow. But sometimes our humanist gets in the way, and we can get defensive and all that. But I don't know. I think that works for me. What about you?
So for me, I myself, like, and it's a general thing, but just I'm not in recovery myself, but like in general, when I'm doing things, I find that having a support system in general just helps. Um, for me, like, I'm not super religious, but or like I have spiritual beliefs, but I'm not super spiritual either. So I don't come at it from the same angle as you. Not that that's like a bad thing or anything. Just like, it's just like I think to myself like how can I help the people around me in the most effective way possible? So like I do things like improv club and whatever, and I always make sure to say thank you to like everything. And it's just like small things. It's just like checking in with people. And when I need help, because like that's a lesson that I've had to learn, especially now that I'm in college, it's just like sometimes you need to delegate work, and not in a like way where it's just like, all right, well, you do this because I don't want to. It's just like we need to help each other to meet goals that are bigger than ourselves. And whether that's like organizing such a big event like Recovery Day or putting together like a theater show, it's just like we all have things in life that we're doing. And when it comes to like this and everything, I'm a social media manager for Alumni and Recovery, and it's like we all do things. Like I am in charge of like graphics and everything for the most part, but you still take care of certain things, and I still help with other things that are like not necessarily directly social media management, because it's all just one big process of contributing to the greater whole, if that makes sense.
Oh my goodness, that was so spiritual. Yes. And say thank you. I love that. Absolutely. Yeah. So, yes. So everybody looks and perceives things in different ways and their spiritual connections. But it's all the spiritual connection. There's so much good, and there's so much love, and there's light, but there's service. And thank you for, all your service because you do it really well. You really do. Thank you.
On that note, Nancy, we are out of time for today. Do you have any last comments, questions, or concerns before we end off?
Yeah, I'll see everybody at Recovery Day, and we're almost off to a new school year. So lots of students to talk to and to reach.
Okay, we'll see everyone Saturday, hopefully. Bye bye.
Bye bye.